Hi there. This is Real Talk Baseball on College Baseball. With me, as always, is Ernie. And we have a special guest. Eddie is on with us. He's one of the guys that played in the fantasy baseball fan place, So we'll ask him how he did in the draft. But before we start, let's see how Ernie's doing out there, man. How you doing, Ernie?
Hey, we're doing great, Carlos. Eddie, thank you for joining with us.
Thank
We're
you guys for
excited for
having me.
baseball, man. We're 10 days away. Season's almost starting. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
That's a
All
good
right.
question. Eddie, dude,
Yeah.
how's it going, man? The first time on the show, first time on the live. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and post it. We're trying to have Eddie answer all of them. Nah, that's good.
I'm doing good. Thank you guys
Good,
for having me. I'm just excited
good,
for the
good.
baseball season to start so I can watch TV
Yeah,
again.
right. That's true.
Yeah.
We got Ryan Reyes. How's it going, man? What's up? From everybody here, at Real Talk Baseball. We like that you're here, and go ahead and ask questions. I know you have the draft as well, and you can ask questions about that as well. But we have a great show for you guys today. We are going to talk about Gerrit Cole. He's going to have an MRI on his elbow, so if you've drafted him, that's concerning. It's concerning for all Yankee fans. That's why I'm wearing the hat for you guys. Trevor Bauer, is he going to get another chance in MLB? We'll talk a little bit about that. And Snell and Montgomery, they still haven't signed and still available out there for the Yankees if anything was to happen to Gerrit Cole. And then we'll talk about Noelvi Marte. He is getting a suspension for 80 games, so we'll talk about that as well. And Joey Votto. Joey Votto is with the Blue Jays. He's shaved and everything. And we'll talk about that too. And we're not going to forget about Mookie Betts. We'll talk about that after Gerrit Cole. But first, we need to go ahead and do our little intro, and we'll do it now.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Today's show is sponsored by Rival Fantasy. Make sure to sign up using rivalfantasy.com or downloading the Rival Fantasy app using code RealTalkBaseball. With the MLB season starting, feel free to sign up. We have a bunch of games to play. We've got best ball, fantasy bingo, and also challenges for your daily challenges. It's a really great game. A lot of drafts are currently going, and we're more than welcome to play if you join in soon. So we're excited to get started with Rival Fantasy.
Dude, you're winning good money on there right now, huh?
Just it's a little side hustle. Let's just say that, it just comes too easy, man. I'm kind of roll-rounded with basketball, so it's kind of helping me with that too. And NFL, I can't wait to play that as well. And MLB.
Yeah, I see that. And you know what? We're gonna have a live one for you guys. We're gonna draft here, and if you guys can join us, that'll be a lot of fun. Use the code. We do have it on the description, and go ahead and use that code when you download the app. And every money you put in, Rival Fantasy does go ahead and match that for you up to $200. So, don't forget to do that, and you'll get, like, if you put $200, you get 400. You get to play all that money. So, don't forget to do it, and use the Real Talk Baseball code. So let's get started, guys. Let's get started about Gerrit Cole, man. Dude, I didn't know anything about it until you told me about it in the morning, and I'm like, what happened to him? So, I mean, I'll let you talk about Gerrit Cole a little bit.
Oh man, guys! So what a tough day for New Yorkers. They first lost Saquon Barkley in football, which was a sad day for them to their nemesis rival Eagles. And now you add Gerrit Cole to another injury, a right elbow injury concern. It looks like he's having an MRI. The Yankees are kind of trying to hide the story. They're not really saying much, and it seems like they're not going to tell us anytime soon. But it does seem concerning. Anything with an elbow injury, it just makes you start to be concerned. Baseball's almost 10 days away, and with Gerrit Cole not possibly starting the season in April, I don't know what the Yankees are going to do. They go from being the favorites in the AL East to no longer being the favorites, just with not having their ace on the middle of the rotation.
That's pretty crazy because you start thinking about their rotation. You start thinking about Rodon. You start thinking about Stroman. And I mean, I don't see them having a tough pitching, to compete in the AL East. You're talking about Gerrit Cole, the ace of the staff, and it's not going to be there. If he doesn't get Tommy John, or there's nothing wrong with his elbow, he is going to probably be out a month or two. And it's always, when you hear elbow, you always refer it and you always link it to Tommy John surgery. So we're not getting ahead of ourselves, but there is concern for the Yankees. There is a bit of a panic but in there. And I feel like that's one of the things the Yankees need to be worried about right now, because they were going into the season thinking their hitting is going to do everything for them. They went and get Marcus Stroman, and then now their pitching staff looks a little bit more competitive, because Marcus Stroman did do pretty good last year, right, with the Cubs. So he came to the AL East, and now you have the Yankees kind of in that panic mode. And is it time to panic? And Eddie, I'm going to let you answer this. Is it time to panic for the Yankees?
Personally, I think it is. I mean, Gerrit Cole is their best pitcher. That's their guy. That's the guy they paid millions to. I think, if he doesn't have to get Tommy John and he just needs to take like a month or two off, how does he deal with it mentally? That's the way I see it, because it could mess with his confidence. Is he going to come back the same, or is it just going to be another bust year for the Yankees?
And that's crazy, because you start thinking about you still have free agents out there that they can probably compete with the Yankees, or can make a better, run with them if you have Montgomery or Snell. And we'll talk about them a little bit later. But if the Yankees do need to compete, if they want to be able to compete, I think they need to go ahead and get another pitcher. And don't forget Trevor Bauer. I know he's blacklisted. We talked about it in the other shows, Ernie. We were saying that, oh, you know what? Trevor Bauer will be a good fit. But this thing right now with the Yankees, and you're going to see more injuries with other teams, do you feel like maybe that the Yankees are just looking at all the options they have right now?
Oh, you bet. They have to look at every option, from Snell to Michael Lawrenson, Bauer, Montgomery, you name it. You need a pitcher. That was basically the Yankees' downfall last year. They didn't have enough pitching, and it's concerning looking now, because Marcus Stroman, even though with the great year he had, and you're expecting Rodon to have a bounce back year, you don't know what you're going to get from these guys. And New York media is going to eat them up alive if they can't compete.
Dang, that's true. And is there a doctor out there that you feel like if they go through Tommy John, that they should go ahead and go and get surgery with? Because there's a few doctors that can perform that surgery, right? And I know a lot of people are going to probably hate on me because I always talk about LA, but that's the truth. When they come to LA and they perform that surgery out here, it's like, okay, these guys are good to go another 3 or 4 years, because we don't know how long those surgeries last, right? But when you do have that surgery and you go out there again to perform, you kind of do see these pitchers kind of throw a little bit harder, right? So, is that something that Gerrit Cole is going to do, Eddie? And you asked me that question, dude. So I'm gonna let you answer it. Do you think he's going to come back if he has Tommy John surgery? He's going to come back and start throwing harder and start throwing, you know, faster than what he is. I think he's reaching 97, 98 right now.
Honestly, he is a little on the older side, right? He's like later 30s already, mid 30s.
Yeah, he's like 33.
So I think it's like a 50-50 just because of the age. But I don't know. I mean, like you said, maybe if he just comes out here to LA and gets the surgery done here, it might go well for him.
Right? That's true.
I
That's
think
true.
he should just go and pick a doctor if he does need to get Tommy John. Pick a doctor that's done well in the past.
Yeah.
Yes.
That has a good track record. He has to have a good
Right.
track record.
Let's just hope it's nothing serious, because we're going to go a whole season without seeing the AL Cy Young pitch this year, just because of another Tommy John surgery. And it's kind of sad. It seems like it happens too many times to too many good pitchers every year. And, baseball, as much as the game is growing and the pitching's kind of been not the greatest, has been just because of the Tommy Johns. I feel like every guy's going through one in their career now.
If you don't have it, you're not throwing hard enough. That's what it is.
Exactly.
That's the truth. Like, if you're not throwing hard enough, that means you're not going to get have Tommy John surgery. So that's just the way of baseball. That's just the way it is right now. So, I mean, let's move on, man. Let's talk about Mookie Betts, dude. Mookie Betts has just moved to shortstop. And because of Gavin Lux haven't been performing as well. He has been missing a lot of ground balls. He's been overthrowing. He's been throwing to the sides. He hasn't been able to, get under his feet. I guess that's the right term to say, because he did have a leg injury. And Dave Roberts had it. He kind of felt like, all right, I'm running out of options. I need his bat for sure in the lineup. Where do I move him? The better place is for him. It's at second base. Move Mookie to short, and now I have my hitting going. But I don't know if you guys saw today, he made 2 errors in second base and it didn't look well, man. He's looking kind of like, where is this guy at? And I mean, Mookie can do it all, right? Mookie can play anywhere in the field. He's like a utility player. Like, do you see like Mookie not playing shortstop well, Ernie?
Well, just the first day, it looked like he struggled a bit. It's gonna be some rough times, and Mookie's gonna try to play his best. That's what he does best, right?
Yeah.
He gives it 110% at all times, but he's not an original shortstop. That's not his position. You got to remember that he is an outfielder at the end of the day.
Mhm.
But he's gonna give it his all. I know his first game he did have an error as well, but it's understandable. I know Roberts is gonna kind of give him his chances, right? It's Mookie Betts. This is superstar, his number one hitter, and it just feels like it's going to be some growing pains in the beginning, but I think Mookie Betts will get the hang of it.
Yeah. Eddie, anything to add to that?
I agree with Ernie. I feel like Mookie, he's a superstar player, but when you go from the outfield to the infield, it's completely different. And I feel like second base is a lot easier to play than shortstop. It's a lot more ground to cover, and it's a longer throw, and you're more of like the second captain in the infield, but behind the catcher. So I think he's gonna struggle at first, but I think as the year goes on, he will get better.
Well, this is what I'm gonna say. I think shortstop is one of the premier positions in baseball. That's where all the balls go through, even if it's on a little bit to the right of them or a little bit to the left. It's still a shortstop's play. There's more right-handers in the league than there is left-handers. So majority of the traffic does happen through the shortstop. So why not put your best player out there? For the Dodgers, the best player is Mookie Betts. He's the most athletic. And if you ask anybody out there, they are going to say Mookie Betts is going to do good. He's going to do great out there. It's just Gavin Lux haven't found it yet. He hasn't found I guess what the glove part where he kind of feels like he needs to kind of get there. But this is the other question I want to pose to you guys because I feel like, is he going to get reps at second and are they going to be alternated? Because remember, they do have Chris Taylor out there. They do have Kike Hernandez that can play out there. And you have Miguel Rojas. He's still a shortstop. So is he going to get any reps? So wouldn't it be better to have Gavin Lux go down to the minors and perfect that on shortstop position than to have him at second? Because he is going to be the future. He's the future shortstop. No matter how we look at it, he is the future shortstop. It's just how long it's going to take for him to build that confidence back to play that shortstop. Remember, that injury is not easy to get back. It's a horrible injury, and he was out the whole season last year. So, I mean, wouldn't you agree with him going to the minors?
Oh, definitely. It's like the way Gavin Lux has been playing, the way you said he had another error today. If this continues to happen, this guy's not going to be in the top 25 active roster this year. He's going to head back to the minor leagues, build his confidence, get his hitting together, and you'll just have Miguel Rojas rotating with Chris Taylor or Kike in short and have Mookie at second. And why wait? Right now, you have the team to win. So there's no reason to be waiting for this prospect like Gavin Lux to get it together.
Yeah. Eddie, anything to add, or you're good with him staying up here or going down to the minors?
I agree. I think he should go down. In my opinion, I'm not a really big fan of Gavin Lux. I don't think he's that good, even before the injury. We do have Kike, Miguel Rojas, Mookie. They can alternate those three. Chris Taylor could get in there. You could throw Max Muncy at second. He could play second. So yeah, I agree. I think they have too many middle infielders right now. So I do agree that they should send him down to AAA for a couple months and just let him find his groove again.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you guys as Dodger fans, would you guys trade for Willie Adames?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. You would?
I would. I think Willie Adames is a good he's a good fielder, and he's a consistent hitter. He's not gonna go and give you 30 home runs, but he's a clutch hitter, in my opinion.
I think he's a good 260, 270 hitter. I just feel like Willie Adames, to me, I mean, I like him. I like any shortstop you put, even Carlos Correa. A lot of people probably would be boo, but he's a shortstop, and that's the position that I grew up, idolizing. I like these guys playing short. There's a difference between any other position than shortstop. When you play shortstop, you said it's a second to the catcher. No, he is the team captain out there of the whole team. So if the shortstop doesn't do good, none of the team does good. So I just feel like if you go after Willie Adames, it's going to take him a little bit to get accustomed to the Dodgers. So I think it's a little too late. I think what they're doing now is perfect. And if they continue this way, I think it will be all right. If we go to the middle of the season and we're still struggling at the position, then maybe they can go after someone else
Yes.
or Willie Adames, right? I think that's what I
That's
feel.
how I feel. I feel that the Dodgers should just wait it out, write it out till the trade deadline. And if they see they're still having some concerns there at the shortstop position, yes, go for him. But right now, to give up a top prospect for Willie Adames, I just say it's a no for me.
No. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. We talked about Snell and Montgomery a little bit at the beginning of the show. Let's add Trevor Bauer to it. I know we talked about Scott Boras because he hasn't been able to get his players out there. Do you guys feel like maybe Montgomery and Snell are a little bit upset that they haven't got signed with any team? Or do you guys feel like this is part of the process? This is what we're waiting for. That's why we hired Scott Boras, because he's going to get the top contract for us. So I'll start with you, Ernie.
I feel like Scott Boras is promising the results, and he's promising that he's going to give them the top dollar for their worth. But I just feel like the MLB owners are being really cheap right now, man. They're not willing to spend, and it's kind of concerning for the game because if you look at the other side of the NFL, it hasn't even been 12 hours since the free agency has hit, and almost every team has made a move. And we're looking here at baseball. We're about 3 months into free agency, and nothing has happened. We have the top NL Cy Young, a guy that went lights out in the playoffs for the Rangers, like Montgomery, and still can't find a job. Yes, they're being promised money, and they're promised like a deal for like 7 years, but they ain't getting it. These MLB owners are not working out with Scott Boras, and it feels like it's time to find a new agent for them because, man, this is not it. This is not the answer. Sucks for the game of baseball, and as a huge MLB fan and as a fan that wants to grow the game, this is not good. Not at all.
It's not good. Yeah, you're right. Eddie, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's pretty unacceptable that two of the top pitchers in baseball have no team, and we're just a few weeks away from opening day.
Yeah. And you know what? I think with Scott Boras, what I feel is that he's still in the old days where he waits it out. He tries to get the best contract for them. I think right now, this is what I feel like. We talked about the Yankees and Gerrit Cole. I feel like there's an offer for Gerrit Cole. I mean, it's Blake Snell, right? There was an offer from the Yankees that it was 150 mil for 6 years, I believe. I don't remember what the number was, but do you think that offer is still on the table now? You know, now that they might need that pitcher, they need that ace. You think that offer is still there?
I really hope so. If I was Scott Boras, he should definitely be calling the Yankees right now and be like, get my player that 6-year, 150 mil. It just has to happen, Carlos. I mean, with the severe injury of Cole and going down, if it turns out to be Tommy John, you have to go for the Cy Young. There's no question about it. I know the Angels were the favorites to land him, and I'm just like, it makes sense, right? You want to replace a guy like Ohtani in the top of your rotation, but with an injury like this and the Yankees needing to win now, yes, they have to go ahead and go sign Blake Snell. And I get it. The right field porch is shorter. I don't care. He's a top pitcher. You got to pay him, whatever it is.
Yeah, and I agree, dude. That's where I feel like I think Snell is kind of getting a little bit. I don't know, not blacklisted like Bauer, but I think he's just getting. What's the word? I don't even know what's the word I'm looking for, but I know a lot of people like Ryan. You're saying you don't like Blake Snell, and a lot of people I know don't like Blake Snell, and I don't know if it's because he doesn't have enough innings pitched, and I don't know if it's because they pull him too fast and he throws too many pitches in 4 or 5 innings, and then they got to take him out. Maybe this guy gets better as he throws more pitches because sometimes it takes you longer to warm up. Maybe we need to, widen that pitch count a little bit more for him and let him throw out there. Like I remember, dude, when I went to the World Series and I saw Blake Snell, I went there thinking Blake Snell's going to dominate the Dodgers like every other year he has. And when they took him out after that hit they got off of him, I was like, that's it. Dodgers winning the World Series, dude. That's it. And it sucks to say it that way, but it's just truth. It's just Blake Snell. He gets better as he throws more, and I think a lot of people are not giving him credit. This new way of baseball, getting to 100 pitches and then cutting them off, I think that needs to change. You had Roger Clemens, you had all these old pitchers back in the days throwing 300 pitches, and they were okay. They could come back in 3 days and do it all over again. So what's wrong with these guys? Why can't they do that now? So I mean, I don't know. Do you guys agree that should probably happen with Blake Snell? Because I feel like the more he throws, the better he gets. And I don't know. The second, third time around, the batting average does go up. So maybe I'm wrong, but maybe like I said, when you let him pitch a little bit longer, I feel he gets a lot better. And it's just the way he is. There's other pitchers that are the same way.
He has some nasty stuff on him, and nobody could hit him, right? Yes, obviously he's going to wear down like every normal pitcher, but the guy deserves a chance, and he deserves to get paid. I really wish the Angels do sign him. I don't care what people say. I don't care if you guys don't like him. I'll take him. Shoot, we need a pitcher and a top-tier pitcher. And it just Artie Moreno, make the call, man. Let's go ahead and beat the Yankees. And I hate that the injury happened right now because I feel like the Angels now have to overpay to get him now. You know what I mean? Now it's going to happen. Now that Gerrit Cole's out, Yankees are going to be calling. Now it's going to be a fight between the Yankees and the Angels for him. And it's going to come down to who's the highest bidder.
They need to hurry up, though. They really do need to hurry up.
That's like last night's draft when you stole me a couple players, and it was you, Carlos. I'm pretty upset about it.
What? I didn't do anything, man. I didn't even know you were bidding. I'm like, where is he at? Man. Let's talk a little bit about the fantasy draft, and we have Eddie for that. We do have Ryan Reyes on here. Ryan, how did it go in your draft? Eddie, how did it go in your draft? And we'll let you talk about it right here, man. Go ahead. Have the mic to yourself.
So I picked, I think I was 9. Like the 9th pick in the first round. I feel like I did pretty well. I didn't really like plan anything out. I kind of just went in there and just kind of winged it just to have fun, I ended up picking Trey Turner in the first round. He's one of my favorite players. He's consistent. He's going to steal bags. He's going to get RBIs. He's going to score runs, and he can hit home runs. And I think the bullpen I put together, my first pick was Zach Wheeler.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what?
So, I thought it was a pretty good pick. I wanted to pick Gerrit Cole. Thank God I didn't. I would have been pissed off. But overall, I think I have a pretty solid team. I have pretty good pitchers, hitters, and defensive players.
Okay. Did you guys pick up Montgomery and Snell on that draft?
Yeah, I did see somebody pick Snell up and Montgomery. Yeah. I didn't, though.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and it looks like I know Ryan was the 11th pick, and he texted me he got Shohei Ohtani as his 11th overall pick, and he got Matt Olson in second round, which was pretty impressive. Shohei went all the way to the 11th pick.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. No one wanted to pick him up.
I thought he was going to go number 1, honestly, but Ronald Acuna did.
Okay, he was a favorite.
There's a thing with Ronald Acuna too. He has a sore knee, and that's kind of concerning when he had surgery on it. It's the same knee, by the way.
Yeah,
it's the same knee. But I would like to have Ronald Acuna on my team. I'll just have to risk it and be like, all right, well, we don't know what's going to happen with them. We don't know if they're going to have a injured knee during the season. What if he goes through the whole season and he doesn't get injured? So that's a good thing. That's the good thing, though, that you guys had a lot of fun doing it. This is what it's about. You are whoever wins is going to get a Real Talk Baseball jersey.
Yeah,
and
I did take a gamble on one of my picks just because.
Which one?
Just because I personally think he's going to make the opening day roster, so I took Jackson Holiday like in the later rounds. So I was like, screw it. Like if he makes the opening day roster, I feel like he'll do good for me. So yeah, I did pick Jackson Holiday up.
That's good, man. That's a good option, and it could be trade bait down the road if you have any injuries.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. Well, Ryan said he went. He was going to go 1-2 with Ohtani and Cole, but he took Olsen. So, I can't complain with that one, dude. You did a good job because it looks like Gerrit Cole is not going to be pitching this year, and the Yankee fans are going to be a little upset if he does go under Tommy John surgery under the knife and they don't get another pitcher. Because like right now, let's say the Angels do have that contract for Snell, then the Yankees are going to lose out on him. And if there's another, team that's looking at Montgomery and it's not the Yankees, they're going to shoot themselves. So who's available? Let's talk about Trevor Bauer. He just threw a little bit bullpen session at Dodger Stadium. He struck out 4 in 3 scoreless innings. And the thing with that is that there's no scouts out there seeing him pitch. He topped off at 99 miles per hour. And no one was out there to see this. The only people that were out there were fans seeing him pitch. And this is the thing, Ernie. Remember, we talked about this already. We say he's blacklisted. There's not going to be any team coming after him. Is there a chance for this man to come back to the MLB? Because, come on. Man. Is there a chance? Do you feel like there's a chance?
I feel like it's gonna happen with the amount of injuries already. Like the season hasn't even started, and there's already like 4 or 5 pitchers going down. Lucas Giolito just went down. John Means is starting the
Yeah.
season hurt. You got pitchers like in
Mhm.
every team with some type of injury. Now, if the Yankees would call Trevor Bauer, I don't see it happening. I just don't see him going to New York. And with that media, they will eat him alive because he will still
Yeah.
have all these like issues from the past, and they'll still bring it up. Man, there's just too much for him to handle there in New York. I don't see it happening.
Eddie,
Not with the Yankees.
not with the Yankees. Eddie.
On to be honest, in my opinion, I can see Trevor Bauer coming back. I've actually seen him like the last couple weeks throwing just because I follow this baseball content creator like on YouTube and TikTok. His name is Juco Bandit, and he takes
Mhm.
live ABs against Trevor Bauer, and Trevor Bauer has been hitting high 90s. But I feel like Trevor Bauer will probably end up on the Angels. I don't see Blake Snell going to the Angels just because Juan Soto is in New York now and they were teammates before. So maybe that will give the Yankees the edge of landing Snell over the Angels.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about that. You're right.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, Juan Soto is with the Yankees. That's why their hitting became something higher than other teams because they have Soto there, but their pitching staff is the one that's kind of suffering. But uh, I just want to reach and touch on this point. I feel like Trevor Bauer is explaining himself a lot lately, saying that the media has taken over and kind of ruined his career. Some of the stuff really didn't happen. Look, we are not there to prove anything right or wrong. We're not reporters. We're not in his life on an everyday basis. We're just fans, and we're just looking to get the best players out to the field. That's all we're worried about. We're not worried about his, his life decisions and all these other things. The man could pitch. The man could throw hard, and he's kind of competitor when he's out on the mound. And his antics out on the mound, it kind of helps out, dude, because it makes the team or the league look a little bit more competitive. And you know what you saw him with the Dodgers when he did the sword thing, and when he struck out Tatis, or when Tatis hit the home run, they were back and forth on Twitter talking about I'm your daddy, whatever it was. That makes it fun, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people need to kind of like understand that. But I think he's blacklisted, and I don't think he's gonna come back, dude. I just feel he's not. I just feel he's blacklisted, and that's it. It sucks. I wish that maybe there was another way, but it's just the way it is. It's just the way the business is run. It's just the way things work around here. It's kind of like
Yeah,
when
man.
someone does steroids, dude. Right? When someone does
Yeah.
steroids, he's kind of like blacklisted, right? And we'll talk about
Hmm.
Marte because Marte is a young stud, a young prospect that's coming up with the Reds, and he just got caught. He's going to serve 80 games. So, is it the same thing? It's not. It's not. One is different. One is way different than the other. But 80 game suspension is a long time for a young prospect coming to play with the Reds. And do you feel like because of this, he's not going to get the playing time when he comes back with the Reds, Ernie?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The Reds are just stacked right now. They have a bunch of number of prospects in the middle of the lineup with Matt McLean, Spencer Steer, Christian Encarnacion Strand. I'm having a hard time saying that name. But yeah, man, they're loaded. And they're not wasting no time. I get Marte was supposed to come up this year, but missing 80 games and being caught up isn't going to happen, man. I just feel like once he is back, he's going to be in AAA, play out the season. And then by the offseason comes around, he's going to get traded. That's just how it's going to happen. I don't think the
Dang.
Reds are going to wait for this guy. I just feel like another owner will take him and give him a second chance. A lot of guys
Yeah.
have been given a second chance for PEDs, and he won't be the first, and he won't be the last. So
Yeah.
this guy, we will get another opportunity, but I just don't see it with the Reds uniform.
That's true. Ernie, I mean, Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like, he had a bright future ahead of him with the Reds, but I feel like now that he got caught, it kind of just ruined his career in a way, in my opinion. I feel like when a player is caught taking those type of substances, they lose respect from everyone in the league, and people just don't view him the same anymore.
That's true. That's true because there's a lot of so out here, especially out here in the U.S. That looked like as cheating. You're cheating the
Yeah, for sure.
game.
Yeah.
You're not allowing your natural self go out there. But we look at the 90s and we look at all these players that were all those players doing it because that was an exciting time to watch baseball. Everybody was hitting home runs, everybody was making some dives. There was a lot of arguing, there was a lot of fights those years, if you guys remember, so like it was amazing year to play baseball or to watch baseball in those years. So I'm not saying bring steroids back, but I'm just saying like some of these players, they do it at a young age. Look at Soto. We talked about Soto. How old is that guy? Is he really that age? And it's has he done any steroids? Like that kid is super big, dude. Like
Yeah.
how can you be that big without steroids? We
Yeah.
look at Barry Bonds pictures, how skinny he was before he started playing, and then when he got to the Giants, all of a sudden he started getting huge. I know it happens with age. That's a no doubter. When you get older, you do gain weight. You do start putting muscle on your body, but that's just way too much. And I think, to be honest, yeah, you're right, Ernie. He is going to get traded. He's not going to get another chance with the Reds. The Reds are ready to win and trying to build that chemistry to get to the next level for them. So I just it kind of sucks, man. It kind of sucks for him, but he did it. He has to do the time. He has to get traded.
Let's look at Tatis. He didn't get traded, obviously, because he's a superstar, right? And, he's promised to be the next big thing in baseball, but it did really hurt his image.
Yeah.
Even though Tatis is bound to this year, nobody's really talking about him. Nobody's excited for Tatis. Like, it just died out. I don't know. His height used to be something else. And now, after he got caught up, we're just kind of like, yeah, it's just Tatis, move on. And let's focus on the next guy, like Acuna instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't even make the 2023 All-Star team. He wasn't even part of it, dude. No one ever said anything. Oh, Tatis is not part of it. Why? Because no one wants to see this guy, a steroids user, to make it.
He was promised to win a bunch of Gold Gloves, promised to win a lot of MVPs, and it was a season ago. I remember Will and you were talking about him winning 2 or 3 in his career. Now we're like, that's not gonna happen. Heck no.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask Eddie.
Yeah. Go.
Sorry, Eddie. Since you're a
go
special guest today, I want to ask you who you see winning the NL MVP this season.
Upcoming year.
Yes.
Mm,
That's a tough one, right?
It's tough, man, because Mookie is gonna be up there. Freddie's gonna be up there.
Now you have Shohei. So
yeah, Shohei's gonna be up there for sure. And then you got Matt Olson. But in my opinion, somebody that I feel that can sneak in there if they just continue to improve is Corbin Carroll. I mean, I'm a big fan of that guy. He had an amazing rookie year. So, but if I had to make my pick now, I'm probably just gonna say Shohei.
You're gonna go over Acuna?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'll tell you why. Because I feel
why. Yes, tell me why.
Because at the end of the day, the MLB is a business, and I feel like Shohei generates them more money than Ronald. So I feel like as long as Ohtani can get over like 30 plus home runs and get a lot of RBIs, I feel like he has a shot of winning the MVP.
I mean, he is going to get more than 30, I feel. He's going to probably hit in the 40s, probably in the 50s, maybe. I don't know. But
let's hope.
And yeah, maybe you're right. That's the thing. Right? What's up, Ernie? What is it?
I'm going to ask you, who you think, Carlos? I haven't asked you this yet.
Me?
Yeah.
I honestly think, dude, it's just you have Ohtani. He's a reigning AL MVP. And then you have Acuna, the NL MVP. I think it's going to be a close one. If I had to make the pick right now, I would have to go after Acuna still, because I think Acuna still has it, dude. He's still stealing bases. He's still out there making his team a lot better. I think he is one of those players that makes his team, play a lot harder. I'm not saying that Ohtani doesn't, but Ohtani still needs to get used to his team. He still needs to get used to playing at Dodger Stadium. I'm not saying he's not going to do good. It's just I feel like Ronald Acuna has already done it, and I think he can do it again. But the only thing that can slow him down is that knee, man. And I think
I agree.
I think that's the thing that is kind of concerning for me. But I'm still picking Ronald Acuna if he plays through the whole season and he does what he did last year, and a little bit better, of course. because remember we talked about this before. We said the Braves still have a better team than the Dodgers, and I agree with it, dude. I agree they have a better pitching staff, and they had a better lineup than the Dodgers. So next year is a different story. Hopefully all these Dodger fans don't hang me, but that's how I feel, and I just feel like Ronald Acuna, like it's the MVP. So who are you picking right here, Ernie?
Oh, well, I'm not going with the favorite. I feel like I'm going with Bryce Harper up in Philly.
Oh,
I feel like he's finally going to have a full healthy season behind him. He overcame an injury last year, right? Wasn't the same. And until late in the season, he finally found himself, right? So I do see Bryce Harper finishing his career with one last one right now with being a Philly, an MVP.
With being a Philly? Okay.
Yeah,
ooh,
man.
That I think all the people from Philly that's in the fantasy in the fantasy league, they'll be able to agree with you because there's 3 or 4 people from out there. But that's good because he just came back from Tommy John surgery too. Remember, he came back faster than anybody thought. He was playing first base, and he's going to be a full-on first baseman now. So I don't think it's far-fetched. I think it's a good pick. But
and the Phillies are just as good, man. It's a stacked lineup.
They have a stacked lineup. You're right. We have one more, man. We have Joey Votto just joined the Blue Jays. Remember, if you guys see any pictures of him, he had a big beard. He was looking bummy. He was. There was a lot of things about him, dude, saying that this guy is losing it. He was posting sad things on Instagram, on X, and all these other things on social media. So people were like, "What the hell's wrong with Joey Votto?" And as soon as he goes to the Blue Jays, he shaves his beard. He's looking normal now. So
he wants a fresh start.
Fresh start. So do you think he's going to make the team?
Oh, definitely. It was kind of interesting. It felt like he was going through like a midlife crisis. It felt like without baseball, he didn't know what to do with his life anymore. And he was kind of sad, like heartbroken. He loves the game that much, right? And he's always been a fan favorite. And it's exciting that he gets to go to Toronto, a place where he's from. He's actually from Canada. And he keeps posting pictures like when he was a kid wearing the Blue Jays like outfits as a kid. So it's amazing how he gets to go back home and finish his career there with the Toronto Blue Jays.
That's his hometown, by the way. It is his hometown team. He rooted for the Blue Jays. He's going to be out there playing for them. So I'm pretty sure he's going to give it a lot more, so he can play another year. He's been a Red all his career, and he's been a really good Reds player. It's just it didn't work out for him out there to finish his career out there. He still wants to play baseball, which is a good thing. He's going out there and he's playing baseball for the Toronto Blue Jays. I hope he does make the team. It'll be different not to see him play. I actually there was a conversation because he went on TikTok and I posted some questions and he answered them, dude. I didn't ask him, can you come on the show? I should have. And maybe he would, in front of everybody, he would like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, that's how I got.
Wait, he answered your comments?
Yeah, he answered the comments, dude. He goes on TikTok a lot. He goes on TikTok. He goes on Instagram a lot. And he answers a lot of questions, dude. So if you guys see him, make sure to ask him, hey, man, come to the podcast. We'll really like to have you on there. Let's see. Votto, a Hall of Famer. Oh, dang. That's a tough question. So is he a Hall of Famer in you guys' eyes? Vince, if you think he's a Hall of Famer, make sure to put it on here because we want to hear from you. I want to really hear what you think about him. I think Joey Votto, to be honest, like he was one of those players when he was MVP, he was on it. He was one of those players that didn't strike out a lot. He got on base a lot. And I think there's a stat out there that if he goes 0 for 1,430 something, he'll still have a higher on base percentage than each role, dude. So that's how good Joey Votto is getting on base. So is he a Hall of Famer? Damn, that's a crazy one. I know he won MVP. He didn't make it to the World Series. He doesn't have any World Series. So, but there's a few people that are on the Hall of Fame that don't do that. So can you come back to me on that? All right. So as of now, I'm gonna go ahead and say I think he does belong in the Hall of Fame because he is a first baseman, and first basemen are hard to get that on base percentage title and have an MVP. So he does have that MVP. What do you guys think? Do you guys think he belongs in the Hall of Fame? That's a tough question, right? You gotta
Yeah.
look. You gotta think about all his career.
Well, looks like he has 356 home runs total. Like you said, he won an MVP. He fell second place in one MVP season. I think he falls just short. I just feel like he doesn't have enough the statistics he needs to get in. And these baseball writers are something else, man. Who knows how they're going to vote these days? It feels like it's either a popularity contest, either they like you or they don't, and that's how you're going to get in.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's
I
true.
think like it's like a 50-50 for him in my opinion. I mean, growing up watching baseball, he was like one of those guys that was just hitting bombs and playing really good at first base. But yeah, I mean, I don't he didn't win a World Series, so I feel like he has a shot, but it's going to be hard for him to get into the Hall of Fame.
It is, and especially like Vince is saying here, I think it's short because the baseball writers, dude, the baseball writers are really, really tough to convince. If you're not one of those players that stands out when you go talk to people, when you greet and meet or meet and greet, let me say that, they're not going to look at you and say, oh, this guy's a Hall of Famer. I feel like, and Ernie, I told you this before. I told you that Scott Rowland to me wasn't a Hall of Famer. And I continue to say that he's not a Hall of Famer because he did not do things for me the way I felt he needed to do. Like there's players out there not in the Hall of Fame that did way better than this guy. And I just feel like Joey Votto is not one of those guys that are going to stand out to the media. They're going to stand out as like, oh yeah, I remember him being a dick. I remember him being an ass. Like so. That's what they remember instead of remembering his baseball career. What did I say at the beginning of the show? Like, one of those things that when we talk about steroids and all that stuff, all these players get overlooked because they did that. And that's not cool. Like they should be able to, probably get recognized that they are Hall of Famers. But, it's just the writers are really tough on everybody, dude. And, maybe I'll change my mind. But I think right now he is a Hall of Famer. He deserves it. He's a good fielder. He's a good hitter. And he is 40 years old. He's up there already.
Yeah.
And hey, that's a good
You know,
question, Ben. Thank you for answering.
just-
Go ahead,
I think
Ernie.
this is gonna be his last chance. If he makes a team, he'll play this one season and that'll be all. And if he doesn't make the team, he'll hang up the cleats, I think.
You think so?
Yep.
I think he'll make the team just because he's going back home, and I feel like he's just gonna give it that extra like grit, to play baseball again, and I feel like every player's dream is to play professional baseball for your hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's a fresh start, and he's just gonna like have fun playing again, just because he's gonna be back home. So I can see him have a good year on the Jays for sure.
I think Ryan Reyes is saying he's going to have a comeback, maybe be a comeback player of the year. I don't know. I know DH. He put it on here. DH. Let's see.
I think
let
he
me put
may
it
come
on.
back to me for that question. I think he may come back to
Oh,
me
okay.
for the question.
Okay. My bad. I got it. So yeah, I thought he was saying like maybe a comeback player. I don't know, because he was kind of lost last year and the year before. So, but yeah, maybe in a few years down the line, people will agree that he does belong or he doesn't belong. But like I said, the freaking writers are harsh, man. They're really harsh,
Yeah.
and I think there's a lot of players that do deserve to go into the Hall of Fame and they're not there. So
Well,
let's put this in there. Let's put
I
this
feel
here. Go
like
ahead. Go ahead.
I feel like baseball writers are so hard like compared to other sports because a player can have 5 great years and then they have one off year and they're like, oh, this guy's done, like he fell off,
He's
and
old.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
old, he's washed up, but the writers don't know. Like, I mean, I played baseball my whole life. Like, it's a hard sport. I mean, people think like, oh, they're just standing there, but I mean, it's not easy to hit a baseball. It's not easy to field a baseball. Like, it's a tough sport. So I feel like the writers should cut some slack to these players. Like if you got a guy that's hitting 30 plus home runs for 5 years straight and then hits 15 one year, I mean, that's all right. He's playing at the highest level. It's a really hard sport, and yeah, I feel like they should just cut him some slack. And I feel like one bad year shouldn't determine if a player makes the Hall of Fame or not.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and I want to add one last thing. I feel like the writers are just looking at certain statistics. Like for home runs, you have to hit over 400. If you're a pitcher,
Yeah.
you have to have over 200 wins. And the game has changed since those days. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we're
Oh
seeing
yeah,
the best of the best these days. The stats
yeah,
are no longer what they used to be, man. They have top tier pitchers out there throwing 100 miles an hour. It's gonna be for sure players are not hitting as much as 30 home runs like they used to, obviously, right? And then you
yeah,
take out steroids out of the picture, and yes, they're gonna hit less home runs.
yep,
So it's all these factors, and I feel like the writers have to adapt. But that's what's wrong with baseball. I feel like the ownership, the writers, agents, everybody's just so old, and they just gotta make the game fresher for everybody, man. Change it up. We
Yeah,
need a fresh start for baseball, man. You know?
I think they should
yeah,
bring in like younger people into MLB. Just I
Yeah,
feel like it'll
younger
make the
executives.
younger executives. I feel like it'll give the game some spice and it'll bring in more young fans into the game because I feel like a lot of young people now are not into baseball because they think it's boring. But I feel like if they see like young executives come into the league and give it their taste, I feel like it'll be good for baseball for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what's crazy? We have a guy here that's 40 years old. We have someone here that's 30 years old, and we have someone here that's 20 years old. There's different generations of baseball way of thinking here. So I'm gonna ask you, Eddie, since you're the youngest. Like,
Yeah.
I've been watching baseball all my life. You know
Mhm.
that. Your dad knows
Yeah.
that, and
Yeah.
like, I feel like, what does MLB need to do for your age? Since it's kind of, you just said it, it's hard for people your age to grasp to the game. It's hard for people to engage with the game because it's not a fast-paced sport, it's not a high contact
Yep.
sport, but
Mhm.
we still love the game. What is it that you think that should change for your sake, for your age group? What is it that they're looking for?
Um, I feel like growing up, what I saw was players like Molina, Posey, very respectful to the game. They went in there, did their work, and went home. I
Yeah.
feel now we have younger guys, like Ellie De La Cruz, wearing big chains on the field, Juan Soto wearing diamonds on the field. Like, I feel like we just need more flashiness and funness in the league. And I know a lot of these reporters, they don't like that because they think it's disrespectful towards the game. But at the end of the day, they're kids, they're 22, 23 years old playing professional baseball, making millions of dollars, having fun. And at the end of the day, baseball is just a kid's game. It's a
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
It's something that kids play in their backyard, with their dads or their brothers. I mean, I grew up like playing catch with my dad, like in the yard and stuff. So I feel like the league shouldn't be so hard on the young players. I feel like players should pimp home runs more. Wear like flashier cleats. If they want to wear
Yeah.
10 chains, wear 10 chains. They
Or
want to have
bat flips.
yeah, more bat flips. Stare down a
Yeah.
pitcher. Like just make it more interesting. And I feel like that'll attract more young people to baseball.
For
That's
sure.
true. All right, Ernie, go ahead, man. You're the 30.
Oh man, our generation just needs a fresh start. We just need a deadline for this free agents. After this season, man, I'm serious, guys. We need a timeline, just a couple weeks, and we have to make some quick moves. It cannot wait the whole off season, man. This has to change big time.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll give you my 2 cents on that. I agree with all of you guys. I agree that they should be able to pimp a home run. They should be able to do more things like that. Took away popping the catcher at home because you just mentioned Buster Posey, the Posey rule. I did not like it. I still don't like it. I still think that because you're a catcher, you should know what you're getting yourself into, and that was a good play. I'm a middle infielder. I got to see and slide at second base and break the double play. Like, I've seen some broken ankles in my career. So I that's not there anymore. So people are not looking into that anymore. And of course, we lost a lot of other things that this year you won't be able to block second base or first base if you put a knee down. That's a I guess the runner's going to go be able to advance to third base. Like, let's say you're going to pick off to second base and you put your foot in front of the bag. That's an automatic penalty and they get to go to third base. What the hell's going on with the game? Like, that sort of stuff, for me, I don't agree with. I feel like the game needs to get better. There needs to be a little bit more contact because that's what people want to see. And if you're getting, like I said, if you're getting into a position, you should know what to expect. And that Posey rule, Ernie, you heard me say this a lot of times, dude. That Posey rule, I do not like.
Yeah,
Eddie,
man.
I've talked to you. We talked about this. That
Yeah,
I just don't like. So I
yeah.
agree
I
with
feel like
all
the
of you
game's
guys. The game is changing. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like the game's just getting a little soft nowadays, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
you
that,
used
that's
to,
true. It
you
is
know,
getting
I
a little
grew
soft.
well, I grew up seeing like, fights and stuff, like when I don't know if you guys remember when Odor like slid into Bautista. I mean, Bautista slid into Odor
Mhm.
and then Odor punched him. Like, I feel like we don't really see that anymore. And I mean, besides the Anderson one last year,
That was a good
but
one. We finally
yeah,
got a
that was
good
that
one.
was a really good one. But yeah, I feel like baseball should keep their old rules, but allow more flashiness and spiciness, and I feel like the game will be perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. I
yeah, I
totally
agree.
agree.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're
I
all
wanted
in
to add a
agreement
couple.
on that, man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I want to add a couple recent updates in the MLB. MLB news right now. Things that just dropped just to get you guys a heads up. Whoever's maybe listening. The Giants have gone ahead and released JD Davis out of the roster with the signing of Matt Chapman now. JD Davis is now looking for a new team. Another one right now that just popped up not like 5 minutes ago. Junior Caminero from the Tampa Bay Rays has been optioned. He did not make the team and now will start the season in the minor league team. So
Dang.
that's a tough start for
Yeah,
Junior Caminero. I know he's an up and coming player, so we'll start the
he
league
is
season in the
upcoming.
minors.
Yeah, he is upcoming, dude. Let's see. We'll put this one on here. So, Vince, I don't know if you already subscribed, but go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so and like the video. We appreciate you giving us all these questions. And this is what we do, man. This is what we like to do. We like to have interaction with everybody that comes on here because that makes our show a lot funner, right? So go ahead, Ernie. I know you want to say something.
No, go ahead. Like, looks like Vince said, I played the hot corner. It's no joke over there, but catchers are savages by nature. All those deflected balls hitting you in the thighs, etc. Big respect to catchers. They can take the contact. And that's the thing, man. Back in the day, you had your toughest guy playing catcher. Your third baseman was a guy that could catch the best because they were going to get some hot shots down there in the line. And shortstop was a guy that could throw some Derek Jeter type of throws. And your outfielders were those type of guys and didn't really know how to catch, but you needed them out there.
You put
I
them in
mean,
right field, but like, hey, go out to right field, and you'll be lucky if you get a
hey, bro,
ball.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm not sure if I ever showed the story, right? I was playing my baseball championship game out a pony league and 12 years old, and I remember the coach putting me in right field, and I was like, "Why right field, man? That's where the sorriest kid plays." I was so disappointed. I was like, "I'm gonna start the championship game in right field, really?" This is where, and it turns out that the coach was like, at the end of the game, man, I ended up catching like 3 fly balls, and I threw a guy out in second. And the coach was like, you know why I put you in right field? Because in the previous game, these guys killed us in right field. They kept hitting it to right. They were making contact pretty late, and that's why I had to put you in the championship game in right field. But it was one of those rewarding ones, man. The only time I ever won a championship playing as a kid, but playing right field. Can you believe that?
Hey, but you made some plays, dude. What did I say right now? You'll be lucky if you get a fly ball out there, a little ground ball, to get. But you'd say you made 3-4 plays out there. That's good, dude.
Yeah,
That means
yeah, man.
the pitcher was throwing outside, or the kids were swinging late, and they put you out there for a reason. Like, you know what? I know where I'm gonna put them. I need those balls caught out there. Vincent, thank you for that. Like, we really appreciate it. We do have the fantasy show too. We have the fantasy show that goes on Thursday nights. If you have questions about any fantasy, you have Chavi and you have Will that goes on and tells you everything about fantasy. I know these guys are ready for it. Everybody that's playing the fantasy fan league, they can go ahead and get those questions answered from these guys. But yeah, we do have 2 shows. We have the live one today, and we have the Thursday one that's pre-recorded. But we still answer your questions if you have those questions available. Eddie, and I don't know
Yeah,
if Ernie, you know this. Eddie he played catcher, so
yeah.
uh, he was a
Nice.
catcher. And do you agree that maybe the catchers do need to get popped a little bit here and there, Eddie, or
Dude,
you're against that rule?
no, I mean, personally, I got popped a lot of times as a kid, dude, and it messed up my back. But I mean, I wouldn't take anything back. I mean, playing catcher, it's a grind, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
it, it's it's a beating on your body for sure. It's a different level of conditioning that you have out there,
Hmm.
especially when you're catching out in the heat all day. But I don't know. I mean, I always loved catching. I think I always believe I was kind of natural at it because I used to play like third base and first base when I first started playing baseball. And then I think I just got put at catcher because I was a chunky little kid. But I mean, I ended up loving catching, man. It's an awesome position. I feel like there's nothing wrong with them getting popped, but I do feel like when a base runner pops them super hard intentionally, that there should be consequences for that, because you can end the catcher's career that way. You can hurt their back, you can break something, But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it comes with
Definitely.
a position though. Honestly, it comes with a position, dude. You're getting beat
it,
up
yeah,
all game back there.
that's true. Anthony Contreras, Matt Kemp is the best Dodger. Oh man, he's in
No.
the Dodger uniform. If you didn't know that, like he's back in. He's helping out the front office, so he is in uniform. If you'd like to see, him in the uniform, there you
Ooh.
go.
Those were some good times though. No matter what, Matt Kemp, he made the game for the Dodgers really pretty interesting back in
He did.
2012, 2013. He had that one MVP season, and then he got to date Rihanna.
Oh, he did. He did date Rihanna.
That's when
Yeah.
his career went down the hole though. That's when he kind of started sliding off. They traded him to the Padres, and then they traded him to the Braves, and then he came back. So that's a good thing
He
for
played
him.
with the
Yeah.
But
Reds too, right?
he played with
Reds.
the Reds. He got
Yeah, he
traded
did.
from the Dodgers
Yeah.
to the Reds with Yasiel Puig.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah. He did
Yeah.
play for the Reds.
All right. Yeah, Vincent. Yeah, if you want to go ahead, man. You can ask all those questions. Even us. I think we're a little baseball fantasy. We can answer some of those questions. All right. Let's put Ryan Reyes, man, out here. He's saying that the one time my daughter played catcher in softball, she jammed it. Oh, that happens a lot. Your
Yeah.
toes too. Your toes.
Yeah.
Your toes. The nail. If a ball hits you right there, it's gonna fall off for sure. Now imagine two of them falling off in one game. That sucks.
Yeah.
That happened to me once when I was catching. Damn, where was I catching? I caught one game and I got two foul ball. I got a foul ball off my right toe and then a foul ball off of my left toe. And then it just felt wet. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then when I took
Oh.
my shoe off, it was all bloody and the nail came with it. I know it's a little graphic, but that's what happened.
Carlos, no.
Oh. I think the worst.
Yeah, no, never again, never again, never doing that.
I think the
Was
worst
it?
thing that ever happened to me as a catcher was it wasn't even. I got plenty of foul balls hit back towards me, but it would always hit like my thighs or my wrist. But I would wear like a Evo Shield like wrist guard, so it wouldn't hurt as much. But
Mhm.
I remember one game I was catching, and the batter, he was like letting go of the bat, dude. Like I don't know what that guy was doing. Well, he swung super hard, let go of the bat. The bat came directly back to me, and the barrel hit me right on my wrist. That was probably like the worst one I ever had, dude. That one
Yeah,
hurt. That one hurt really bad.
I bet, dude. Anything hurts and you get hit, but when you're
Yeah.
like your body's warm and you get hit, you
Yeah.
don't feel it. You'll
Yeah.
feel it afterwards. Andrew Contreras is saying Dodgers rotation is top 5 baseball for sure. I agree. I think it's top 5. I don't know if it's lower than that. Not yet, at least, because I don't know what these rookies are going to do this year. If they perform well, then I can change. That'll change my mind. Let's go ahead and go to the next one right here. We have Ryan Reyes, a girl sliding home. Did it? Ah, that sucks. And I'll put Vince right here. So he's answering Ryan. So I mean, we like this. This is what we like doing, right, Ernie? I know,
Yeah, man.
Eddie. This is the first time you come on live with us. I know you've been part of the chat and you've been
Yeah.
going on there, and that's pretty cool. But when we have these questions live, it just makes our show a lot better, dude. And we love it, man. So, and I think I saw outfield is fun. I didn't read that one. Outfield, it's fun. I played a little bit outfield too when I first started playing, and I remember my very first play when I first played baseball. It was a line drive between right field and left field, right field and center field, and I dove. I almost caught it. When I fell down, I didn't grip it right, and it just fell off. But I remember my mom saying, "Man, that was a good play. If you would have caught it," I'm like, "I know, I didn't keep it." So it sucked. But that was my very first time playing baseball. I dove for a ball and I didn't catch it. So
Yeah.
it was fun. Yeah. All right. Well, we already reached that point. Last mentions for you guys. We'll start with you, Ernie. Last mentions on the show, man.
Well, I want to thank everybody listening to our show. Anybody listening on Apple Podcast, Spotify, on YouTube, we appreciate all you guys, and help us grow the channel. We're approaching 600 subscribers, so we're happy to keep growing. And now we're finally landed our first sponsorship with Rival Fantasy. So if you guys could do us that favor and join, so we could go ahead and play fantasy baseball with you guys using code Real Talk Baseball, we would really appreciate it. Like Carlos said, I'm making money. I'm getting this bonus money, and it's a side hustle now for me.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you
Yeah.
guys, but if you guys want to challenge me, feel free. My name's Ernie Orange. There, I wrote on the Rival Fantasy app. Feel free to join me as a friend. And recently, one of our guys, Joaquin, man, I showed him how to play best ball, and he took down my money. I was kind of upset, like, man, why did I show him how to play?
Yeah.
So,
So wait till baseball starts. Wait till baseball starts. I think that's when we're gonna
be
all
fun.
get in there. Yeah, it's gonna be
I
really
have
fun.
I have a question for both of you
Yeah.
guys. Well, like
Go for it.
two questions. So the first
Okay.
one is, what is your guys' like favorite stadium that you guys have ever been to? And the second one is like, what is your earliest memories of like either watching or playing baseball? Like, what is some moments in baseball that like stand out to you guys?
Go ahead, Eddie. I mean, go
for
ahead.
me, the best stadium I've ever been to, I would say Petco Park, and the one I want to go visit is PNC Park in Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Carlos. Go ahead.
All right. I think people are gonna hang me and hate me for this. I think the Giant Stadium is nice, dude. I think it's a beautiful stadium. I just think I just like the intensity when you go in, because if you're wearing Dodger blue, they're gonna hate on you, and I love it. So like I don't know, the scenery's nice, the rivalry's nice, the cold weather there is nice. The Pelicans or I don't know what the Pelicans or Seahawk, whatever, they're out eating popcorn out there. The fog coming into the stadium looks dope. It's a nice stadium for me, and I haven't gone to PNC. I do want to see that, Ernie. I wanted to go there too. I want to go to Pittsburgh and see that stadium, and the Padres stadium is really nice as well. It's really nice, and I can't dog my daughters. They have a nice stadium, but to me it's a little old. So it's just it's just you gotta pick one of those three. I haven't gone to PNC, but once I go to PNC, maybe I'll have my top three. And for now, the Giants are beating the Padres only because that rivalry is there, dude. And the what was the other question, Eddie?
What are your guys' like earliest memories of like playing baseball or watching baseball?
Oh, okay. So go ahead, Ernie, answer this
man, I have a lot of memorable moments me watching growing up. There's a 2011 David Freese ninth inning with 2 outs, getting that a double down right field. That was an awesome moment. The Cubs coming back 3-1, being down 3-1 in the 2016 World Series to win. That was a very cool moment. Kurt Schilling's bloody sock game in the World Series was also awesome. Luis Gonzalez walk-off 2001 against the Yankees, against Mariano Rivera. I think that has to top it all.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and say, and I think I'm gonna steal it from Ryan. Kirk Gibson hitting that home run against Dennis Eckersley, dude. Knowing that Dennis Eckersley was a top closer, knowing that Kirk Gibson didn't have his his full use of legs, and he hit that home run, and then you hear Vince Scully, say that famous line, "The improbable has happened," and it's like that's just amazing. My childhood memories is just Vince Scully, Jaime Jarrin talking on the radio. My dad put in that AM radio all the time. So that was amazing, dude. So if you're not a Dodger fan, you won't, recognize the voice maybe from Jaime Jarrin, but Vince Scully's everywhere. I know everybody will remember him, but it was one of those memorable moments for me. When I hear those or AM radio, it just reminds me of baseball. That's crazy, right? What's up, Eddie? You're supposed to answer this too, man, before we go ahead and log off, man. Go ahead. Answer those two
All
questions that
right,
you asked.
so I think a few years ago I would have agreed with you as like the Giant Stadium because I did go there a few years ago. The scenery is awesome. It's a nice field. I like how you see the water, all the boats. But now my favorite stadium that I've been to, I was lucky enough to go to Fenway last year for the Dodgers series, and that was
Nice.
like so cool. Like just being there, like it I don't know, it was just an unreal experience having all those Dodger fans there. Like we literally walked around that place like if it was our home field. Like all the Red Sox fans were hating on us. They were just mad dogging us, but we didn't care. We were walking with our Dodger blue, and it was just so much better that the Dodgers won that night. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome, dude. I mean, they were hating, but we didn't care. We all of LA showed up and the team showed up, and they were down at the beginning of the game. So the fact that they came back and won just made it even better.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
Okay,
think some of
someone's
my
jealous of you.
earliest some of, some of my earliest memories of playing baseball, um, I actually have like vague memories from like t-ball, like when I first started playing. I remember I would play second base in t-ball, and I was on the athletics. I remember, but we were like so bad, we sucked. Like we were terrible. We were terrible. And actually, like this something that I wanted you to know, Ernie, is like Carlos actually bought me my first baseball bag when I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. Like I remember my dad like told me like, "Oh, call Carlos, like he's not gonna tell you no." Like, and he bought me one of those old school like bat bags. It was a Nike one. We had that thing
The
for
hang
like
on.
so
I
many
remember that.
years. Yeah.
Was it black,
Yeah,
white?
It was black with the Nike with the white Nike
Nice.
swoosh. Yeah. And Carlos actually
yeah.
bought me my first like real like Dodgers fitted too, like for one of my birthdays growing up, because my
Yeah.
parents
Like,
would
go
always buy me like
Carlos.
my my parents my parents would always buy me like those like dad hats, like those 47 Dodger hats, but Carlos bought me like my first ever like on-field cap. I remember that. Those are like some of my memories too from growing up, and then just playing catch with my dad and stuff, learning how to love the game and stuff. Yeah.
True. That's good, man. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this, Vince. Fenway and Wrigley, those are my on my bucket list. I need to see those for sure because I do want to go to Wrigley maybe this year. Hint, hint. I don't know. Maybe I'll go out there, but it's one of those stadiums that are on my bucket list, and I think it's a lot of baseball fan bucket list to go out to Wrigley and Fenway. Eddie already went to Fenway, so all you need to do is go to Wrigley. So
Yeah,
you got a seat
I
on
was
that
kind
one.
of sad because when I went to Fenway, we took a trip to New York as well, but we didn't have time to go to the Bronx. I wanted to go to the Yankee Stadium so bad, but we were only
Mm.
there for like a day and a half, and we just didn't have time to go. But I want to go to Yankee Stadium as
Oh,
well.
it's a nice stadium. Forgot to mention that one. I got to
Yeah.
see a Yankee Red Sox game there.
Oh,
I was
nice.
rocking my Angels Otani jersey. Yeah, and everybody was
Uh,
confusing me with the Red Sox uniform. I was like, "That's not Red Sox, bro. It's the GOAT Otani." You
Dude,
know,
those East Coast fans are different, man.
they really are.
They
Um,
hated they hated us there, and the fact that we were like I was probably sitting like 8 or 9 rows behind home plate, so we were close. Like seeing a game that close is insane. But I remember Bruzdar he came in the pitch and he was just striking everybody out, and we were just cheering, like yelling in Spanish, and all those East Coast fans would just look at us all nasty, like, "What are these Mexicans doing here? Like, this is our home field." But yeah, we made that our park that night. It was awesome.
yeah, it's tough, man.
Nice.
Boston crowd is a tough one.
Yeah, they are.
It is. Yeah, it's cool. Hey, thanks for listening, you guys. It was really fun to share these experiences with you. I know we talked about the MLB news in the beginning, and we got into what we love about the game and what stadiums we want to go to. We love the questions. We love everything that we have going with everybody here when we interact. If you haven't hit that subscribe, hit that subscribe. If you haven't hit that like, hit that like. We want you to come back. We go on every Mondays at 7. We try to get everything for you guys. Since there's not a lot of news, we'll talk a little bit about, a little bit of those things too with you guys, personal stuff and that we love about baseball. So we'll be doing that. We have Javi on here. How's it going, man?
Oh, Javi.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Great show. Yeah, thank you, man. Like we're telling them about your show that's coming up on Thursday, so you guys better bring it. I think this is gonna be, I believe, is the sleepers, right? So I think it's gonna be the sleeper show. Though. So
Yeah,
if you're
and
into
for those
fantasy
that don't
baseball,
know,
go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead.
man. And for those that don't know, me and Carlos we're part of the West Coast, and the guys for the fantasy are part of the East Coast. So they're up in Pennsylvania themselves, supporting the Phillies and the Pirates out there.
I wanted to say one more thing. I
That's
wanted to
true.
say one
That's
more
true.
thing.
Go, go for it.
The other guy that does the podcast, his name is Will, right?
Will
Will, yeah,
Power, yeah.
Yeah, so
Will Power.
we actually run into him at Fenway when we went for the Dodgers series. He was there.
Oh, really? No
Yeah,
way.
he was out there. Yeah. Was it? Yeah, I think it was him.
He
Yeah.
was
And
out
then
there.
yeah,
He was
we
out
actually saw them like on the street, and my dad was like yelling at him. He was like, "Hey!" And then they saw us and they were waving at us. It was cool.
Uh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys got to see him out there. That's good.
Yeah.
Javi Dodgers all day. He's so Javi's in the East Coast. So he was from LA. Now he's out there in Pennsylvania. So he's still a Dodger fan. but I wouldn't put it past him if he wears a Philly hat. I think he would wear one. If you're hearing me, that sucks, man. No, I'm just kidding, dude. Just kidding. All right. So, I mean, we did our last mentions. We went over the hour. Already gave our last mention. So I'll go ahead and sign out right here. Follow us here, Real Talk Baseball. This is Ernie Orange, Eddie, Carlos Baseball, Real Talk Baseball, signing out.